Okay, today is the start of when I try to record as much as possible in one day. Um, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm not used to talking for this long. This is probably going to be a 5 to 6 hour day of me talking. So that's going to be a little hard on me. But we've got quite a bit of stuff left to go over for the first book, the first class. Uh, and my reason, as I said in the previous weeks, for doing this and for thinking about doing this is sort of twofold. Um, One, the time that's being put into this for three people is way too much. Um, you guys may see me for 3.5 hours a weekend, but I'm actively doing stuff for this probably 6 to 7 hours every weekend, and trying to get things uploaded and put in the right spot, and make sure that I've got content for the next week. So, that being said, uh, the other thing is just in general the number of people. Um, there will be a video that comes out around the same time as these ones that will be unlisted, private to the team. That when you click the link, it will be a short video explaining my thoughts on what I need to see from you guys for the next year, simply because we've got a fairly small team right now, and a lot of people are either juniors or sophomores, and in a year's time, in 2 years' time, if we don't bring new people in, we're going to start having problems. So that video will be on the other side, but um, uh, this reformat, this allowing you to go to a particular date, turning the assignments in, will allow anybody that joins the team the time to watch the videos, do the assignments, turn them in, and have the same opportunity to be a programmer next year on the team as anybody else. And this also gives anybody who didn't have time over the summer to do the programming stuff to maybe take the opportunity during the school year, in between your regular homework, which is obviously more important at this point, the opportunity to actually do the work. But that being said, this sort of precursory video that sort of sits at the start of chapter 6, uh, we'll only have one of these today. Once the content for chapter 6 is done, we'll move immediately into creating videos for chapter 7, and then after that, chapter 8, and we may do chapter 9 today. It depends. I haven't written it yet. I'd like to write it before I actually record it. But we'll see how that goes. It depends on what time I get everything else finished by. I am starting earlier today. It's about 10 o'clock. I said I was going to start at 9, but it's about 10 minutes to 10 right now, and depending on how much I can get done reasonably within the day, if it hits 2:30, 3 o'clock by the time the first 3 pieces are done, then maybe I'll sit down, spend an hour, write up the next class, and then record that one. Because the ninth class is a part of a series of 3, and it's probably the shortest of the 3, just because of what is going on in that class. But that being said, there will be several videos posted today in tandem, trying to get this whole new format wrapped in. And one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the actual cutoff date for when everything will be due. Now, as most of you are aware, if somebody new is watching this in the future, I am still in college. So as most of you are aware, I do have a block of time, usually a little bit bigger than yours, that is my Christmas break, my holiday vacation. Um, and so what my plan is to have the cutoff date be the same day as the last day of my semester for the fall semester, which will be December the 16th, 2017. By that day, if you have not turned in all assignments from this class or the next class that follows this one, then you will start to lose points. Specifically, each class will be graded independently of each other and then averaged together. So if you get, let's say 100 on every single one of your assignments for class 1, then for that class you have a 100. But let's say you forget to turn in one of the assignments from class 2. Well, but you get a 100 on the rest of them. Well, then that would have to be, all of your scores will be averaged together for that class. I just thought about this a little bit more, and there's gonna have to be a little bit of a reworking of how I do this. Probably what will end up having to happen, because that doesn't math as well as I want it to, because it doesn't. I will figure out what will happen if you miss an assignment, because right now with the way the averaging works, you would end up averaging in a 0, which for the number of assignments that class 2 will probably have, that will really hurt some people. So maybe I'll rework that. Maybe I'll just take 25 points off, and that will get us to the 75. See, but then you'd actually have to turn it in at that point. I'll have to think about this one a little bit more. I don't have anybody here today to bounce ideas off of, because normally, because if you all remember, you helped me to decide and make the decision that you had to get at least a 75, and the top 3 scores would be from the 2 classes would be the 2 programmers. But I'm questioning my methodology now, and of how late stuff is going to work. I suppose, I'll think about that one a little bit more. Both classes will still be graded independently, but now I have to debate with myself sort of whether or not I want to straight up give you a 0, which I very well may do if you don't turn in an assignment by the cutoff date, because there is plenty of time to get everything done, even for people who join the team in late September, early October. Or if I want to try to omit the assignment from the average and then take a certain number of points off your final grade. I guess I will have to see how exactly I want to do that, and I will make that note well before the actual cutoff date. There will be at least one more week of me recording videos, because I obviously still have to record the second class. So I will think about how I want to do this. But just know that both classes will be independently graded of each other. So if you miss an assignment from one, it doesn't affect your grade from the other class. But they will be averaged together. So if you get, a 100 in one class and a 25 in the other, you're going to be having a problem. Because if you take 125 and divide by 2, that's obviously not more than 75. So that being said, just keep that in mind. I'll have to hash this out a little bit more in my own head to try to figure out what I want to do specifically. With that being said, I'm going to close out this video. This was a little bit more rambly and and not as well thought out as I thought it was. Um, but we will go from the start, the start of chapter 6, and we'll see how far we get along in the day. Um, I'm Yeah.